So it's around that time of year, everyone, where the AFL fixture is starting to get leaked. The official announced date for the fixture is on the Thursday, the 14th of November. And what I'll be doing in this video is I'll be giving you a little bit of an early preview of the full fixture I made actually for the 2024 season. This will just be round one. And I'll give you guys what I think will be a pretty good round one fixture. I'll be going through the matchups, you know, seeing why they work and all that. But as I said before, yes, I made a full fixture myself on lock, and we'll be reviewing it and showing it to you guys probably next Tuesday, a couple days before the actual fixture's out. And then obviously like a fixture review video that I always do when the real fixture's out. So I'll quickly go through opening round then. As you can see right here, this is the fixture that I've created for it. I actually think this is pretty realistic and happening. So we start off on the Thursday with Brisbane and Geelong at the Gabba. We move to the SCG, Sydney v Hawthorn Friday night. Gold Coast Carlton we have as the Saturday twilight game like last year. And then GWS Collingwood, basically the same fixture as last year at NG Stadium. So as you can see, a couple of things to take note of. We've obviously got the exact same home teams as last year. I feel like that's probably going to be the most likely scenario. They want to have it in the New South Wales and Queensland northern states to help grow the game. That's at the AFL's motto. I've ditched Melbourne, and I've also ditched Richmond as clubs to play opening round. It'd be great if more teams could play, but they're just going to have the bigger Vic clubs. So I've got Geelong and Hawthorn as pretty perfect replacements. I mean, you got a good start to the fixture. Brisbane, Geelong, the prelim final rematch, what a game that was. And then Sydney Hawthorn, that would have been an epic prelim final if that were to happen. So that's a good start to the fixture. I don't know if Carlton are going to get the opening round time slot. They don't want it. I've been hearing rumours that they don't want it, but I'm just going to give it to them because not every time the AFL are going to give Carlton what they want. So that's the opening round fixture. Then we finish with Giants Collingwood. I think they're building a pretty good rivalry, and I don't mind the fact that that is the opening round fixture. But in my opinion, I think the round one fixture is a little bit more juicier, obviously involving every single club. Let's pretend that this fixture is real and it's happening next week. So I'll give you guys a little prediction on who I think is going to win if this was, for example, a week before the actual season started. So first game, we have Richmond v Carlton at the MCG, the season opener. This is always the first game in Victoria for the season. It's a tradition that has been around for a while now. You want to have the first game of the season to pack out crowds because that's the point of round one. Round one fixtures as of late, we've been seeing record crowds, so that's why I've gone with Richmond v Carlton. It always happens. It's a bit unfortunate that it's probably going to be Carlton, who are going to be a lot better now skill-wise. It's never really a time period where Richmond and Carlton are on a similar skill level, but you're going to have this as the round one fixture. And if I were to predict a margin, well, Carlton surely have to win. This is going to be a new look Richmond team with a lot of new draft picks, a lot of senior players gone. Carlton by 40 points. If they don't win by a lot here, there'd be a bit of a concern. Next up on the Friday night, we have actually at the Gabba, Brisbane taking on Sydney. Now, I've gone the grand final rematch early. Now, there's always going to be the grand final rematch. There'll be two games between Brisbane and Sydney in 2025 because they just played in the grand final. But I've actually gone the grand final rematch early at the Gabba as the Friday night game. Reward these two sides for playing off in a grand final. You do normally see that Friday game in Victoria, like at the MCG. I think this will be a pretty good game of footy, obviously, with the two teams just playing off in a grand final. At the Gabba as well, you reward Brisbane, so they technically start their first two games off at home. If I had to give an early prediction for this game, I'd probably say Brisbane. I still think they're going to be a really strong side this year, and I've got my ladder predictions. You'll probably see Brisbane being quite high up there on the ladder once again. So I'm going to say Brisbane win this game by 19 points. All right, we move on to the Saturday games. And like in previous years, I've gone with the 4 games, and we start with the early one at 1:45 p.m. This is going to be between the Western Bulldogs and St Kilda. So two Vic sides playing against each other at their home grounds at Marvel. It's probably good to have that, like round one. Try and have as many Victorian sides play each other at home as possible, like in Victoria. I remember in 2022 that was the case. So the Bulldogs and the Saints is a bit of a mini rivalry with these two sides in a way. You know, two of the smaller Victorian sides, they can put up a bit of a contest. You've got Jack McRae, who's going to be playing against his former side for the first time as well. As a St Kilda fan, it'd be good to get revenge from a big smashing last year. So, mock prediction, we'll say the Saints win this one by 9 points. Why not? And then we move to the Adelaide Oval for the Saturday twilight game. These are all Victorian times, so 4:35 p.m. in Vic, 4:05 p.m. in South Australia. We've got the showdown, Adelaide and Port Adelaide. Now, I've decided, why not have the showdown to kick things off in South Australia for round one? Obviously, last year, in opening round, you have all the Queensland and New South Wales teams getting all the favoritism. So have Adelaide and Port both play. You're going to have two South Australia sides in South Australia. I don't remember the last time there was a showdown round one. It might have been like 2014-15, but there certainly was, but it would have been a while ago. I've gone the Twilight game because I want it as a standalone time, so I don't want it clashing at night with another game, because I think this is pretty big of a game, and it will see if Adelaide, obviously with a new logo at home, are they going to be good enough this year? Can they compete with the good sides in Port Adelaide? So if I were to predict, I'm going to say Adelaide, since it is at home, I'm going to give them the crack, and I'm going to say they win a close one by 3 points. Next game we have back at the MCG. Collingwood take on Melbourne Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Two relatively big Vic clubs, particularly Collingwood. Saturday night, this I think will be the Channel 7 game. Petrarca will be back from Melbourne. A bit of a new look Collingwood side with, the likes of Perryman and Houston and Tim Membry in the lineup, you would think. Interesting clash. We'll see how good Collingwood really are. We'll see if Melbourne are going to be that side to fall off. It's a good one. And, these two sides obviously play again later in the year with the King's birthday clash. My prediction for this game, well, I do think Collingwood are probably the stronger side, and I'll say they win by 25 points. And the final game on the Saturday, we go to Optus Stadium between Fremantle and GWS for the 8:10 p.m. clash. Now, normally the Optus Stadium game is played Sunday night. I think this is a pretty good matchup. I'm pretty sure Freo are going to be a good side this year. They've got the addition of Shai Bolton, but then they're playing a GWS team who I think are very capable again this year. So I think whilst these sort of fixtures aren't really the most exciting in terms of like fans tuning in, I think this would be a good one. And because it starts a little bit later, when you flick over games, you can watch both. And if this is a close game, you can watch the rest of this game. If Collingwood Melbourne's also a close game. For WA viewers, since the time difference will be a little bit more, this is probably going to start like at 5 o'clock. So that's why it's a bit later at 8:10. I wouldn't even say this is a bad game. This has the potential, as most of these games, of being pretty close ones. We move to Sunday, and what better way to start off at the MCG between Hawthorn and Essendon. Now, I think Hawthorn-Essendon playing off round one has been a really good decision, and it's been happening for the last few years. It's become, in a way, a little bit of a mini tradition. I remember 2021, 2022. So I think it's going to happen once again. I have been reading online that they are wanting this game to be played on the Friday night, and I can understand that. You want a couple of games in Vic. Hawthorn deserve that prime time slot, but Hawthorn are going to get a lot of prime time games, at night, Friday, Thursday nights. You'll see it in my fixture later on. They're going to get a lot, and I think having this Sunday arvo, it's great for the families, and we've seen as the last couple of years, they've had like 70k plus of the MCG on a Saturday arvo. So we're giving this as a Sunday. The F1's also going to be on this week as well. So you don't really want to have a Melbourne game on too late. So I think Hawthorn-Essendon's a great game. And as of late, it's been Essendon getting these wins. I think this is Hawthorn's turn to get the win. And I'll say they get it done by, let's go 33 points. Next up, we have at People's First Stadium, we've got Gold Coast and Geelong at 4 o'clock. Now, round one, they have a little bit of a weird way of organising the time slots, but I don't mind it. They typically have the first game at 1 o'clock, the second game at 4 o'clock. So as a fan, I guess you can watch every game and it's full. There aren't really many games clashing. Gold Coast Geelong, so Gold Coast theoretically would have the first two games at home like last year, but against some tough opponents. Geelong, once again, they just played off in a prelim, and they'd be starting off their season in this mock fixture 2 times in Queensland. So it's not ideal, but you got to have that one or two sides playing interstate round one. And it's going to be Geelong. I don't mind a 4 o'clock game. Once again, Twilight and Gold Coast is nice. And this is a real test for Gold Coast because Geelong are going to be a good side. So once again, I expect this game to be quite a good one. I just don't know about Gold Coast every single season. And I think Geelong are set for another pretty good season. So I think they'll bounce back and win this game by 17 points. And the final game, we head back to Optus Stadium for West Coast and North Melbourne. Now, you're probably wondering, 2 Optus Stadium games round one, mate. Are you an idiot? That's never happened. And I don't think it has ever happened. But I'm not saying it's out of the possibilities because it could happen. And the reason why this isn't at Marvel is because obviously North Melbourne have that deal with the WA government in hosting 2 games in WA against WA side. So because of that, this is like impossible to happen. North and West Coast cannot play at Marvel because they have to play, if they play twice, both in Perth. And because I think they will play twice, just my prediction, they're going to have to play at Optus. So it's unlucky for North, but they're going to be playing an extra few games in WA this season, and I've had to change it around so they play at Optus. Obviously, both these sides finished bottom 3 last year, so you do want to give the bad sides a chance to get off to an early start with a couple of wins. So it's a good chance for both sides here to get a possible win. But I think West Coast and Optus are going to be all right this year with a couple of new additions and Baker and Graham and all that. So yeah, I think this could be an all right game to finish off the season. I wouldn't be too excited for it, but you're going to have a couple of these games between some dead rubber teams. I'll be predicting in a theoretical matchup that West Coast win this game, and I'm going to say they win it by 27 points. It's the round 1 fixture that I think works quite well, and if this ends up rolling out, look, I wouldn't be complaining. I think logistically all of this could happen. As mentioned before, I have a full fixture that I've already got planned for Tuesday's video, where I'll be going through it and all that, showing you guys how I made it and all that, me and Locke. So that'll be interesting. That'll be the next video. And then on Thursday, when the fixture is out and they have probably already leaked a few of these rounds, then we'll go through the games to see, you know, what I'll be doing for next year, because, you know, it's important, the fixture. We need to know where I'll be traveling to for interstate games and all that. It will secure to get shafted. All of that stuff will be interesting to know. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, because I'll be making a few more fixture videos as mentioned before. Leave a like and comment down below your round 1 fixture. You don't have to worry about making a full one. Screw that. Just what would you like to see round 1? It doesn't even have to be a full fixture. Just what are some things you would like to see round 1? And I'll be replying to the comments down below. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon in my next video.